There you go. Gotta love it. Great. Well, we are here, like I said, to celebrate our fall winter issue release. We typically release this issue in the fall. We had some lovely weather complications that just pushed out our release date a little bit of a lot, but we made it. We're here. Tonight, we will be hearing from 4 readers. We will be hearing from 2 of our finalists, Ronda Broatch and Alyssa Ripley, for our contest that was judged by C. Dale Young. Marissa Pasinger, the contest winner, unfortunately was unable to be here tonight, but she sends her regards and just her general joyfulness about this issue and being able to be included with everyone. And same with John Sibley Williams, our other contest finalists. We will also be joined by Sayantani Dasgupta, who will be reading from her essay that she published in this issue, and then Susan Holcomb, who was our fiction contributor. Crab Creek Review has been in the Northwest. Many of you have also been in with Crab Creek longer than I have, but in the Northwest for about 40 years. This is actually our 40th year, so we're very excited about that. What you'll be hearing tonight, like I said, is a selection from our contest, some prose. We're actually about to open our submissions for our contest on February 15th. And so if you're listening tonight and are inspired, please send your work our way. We'd love to read it. Our contest judge will be Nikki Beer. And so we're very excited for that. And with that, I think I'll get started unless there are any questions or concerns. And if there are, just put them in the chat. And also just put general applause and joy in the chat as well. Wonderful. So let's get started. We'll be starting with Ronda Broatch. Ronda Broatch is the author of Chaos Theory for Beginners, Moon Path Press 2023, coming out this year, and The Lake of Fallen Constellations, also from Moon Path Press. She is the recipient of an Artist Trust Gap Grant. Ronda's journal publications include Greensboro Review, Blackbird, Two River, Sycamore Review, Missouri Review, Palette Poetry, and NPR News KUOW's All Things Considered. She is a graduate student working towards her MFA at Pacific Lutheran University's Rainier Writing Workshop. Welcome, Ronda.
Thank you, Julia. Oh, and thank you to everybody for being here tonight, and Crab Creek Review. And oh, it's just very nice to be here. I love it. So I'm going to start off with the finalist poem. And it's one that I believe I wrote with somebody who's in the audience tonight, Kelly. So here it is. How to Live on Devotion and Fried Zucchini. Use lots of butter, not a pat, but a whole party of butter. Leave that toxic, non-fat shit at home for one night. Drizzling or doodling, you choose. My philosophy is you only have large zucchini if you don't pick it young. Yes, it looks like an organ. Now get the butter out. Don't touch the burner, because I love you from the depths of my bosom, my little boson. It's Bourbon Friday. Do you have gratitude's address, or do you need me to write it down for you? And what is that sweet smell? Honey, is there something we should know? Mama's motorcycle could take the numbers off your clock. It's so sexy. Your whiskers are so sharp, you could play a sad song backwards from my collection of vinyl records. I'm a sucker for an unbuttoned day. A superhero film where lovers wear their super suits, unbuttoned in Venice. Are there waterfalls on Venus? And why aren't there more neon green milk glass plates on Etsy? Your thighs in that zucchini print skirt are getting in the way of my ability to apologize. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I'm just hopelessly devoted to you. And I'm going to also read the semifinalist poem that I have in there. And I believe these 2 poems were written on the same night, which is really weird. And this one takes a line from Jean Valentine as its title. the wild ladders of longing. It was years before I could make my voice quiet as a pair of gloves. Sometimes I'd sit and listen to the Xerox spitting out its many tongues. In the tornado of my mother's mind, it's a good idea to hunker somewhere else. I'd be lost in the dictionary of mother names, and dinner would be late. The guests would go hungry just because. I'm building a shoebox house to withstand a gust. Now I'm overthinking the whole psychedelic thing, wondering if I wandered in the woods looking for mushrooms, I'd run into a coyote. Then you'd be a widow. Maybe or maybe not. I didn't die when opening the window to photograph a bear, although I almost did when I wore that bikini and my boob fell out. Eve was all about the apple, and I'm good with a young coconut juice with lunch. Thank you. I'm still open to going into deep space sometime. Have you been bitten by spiders while we've been here? When was the last time you actually licked a stamp? I can't concentrate when you do that. Stop it. When the eggs in the pan burned up, I married the fresh air. I believe Jesus loved his time as a summer camp counselor. It was his pure phase. All that wildness, the sweetness. And then I'm going to read two poems from Chaos Theory, just came out. And I guess the first one that I'm reading is the one that I opened to. This one is called Sonnet with General Relativity. And this book kind of encompasses my love for and not altogether great understanding of quantum mechanics and cosmology. Sonnet with General Relativity. Maybe this is the century for rapture or execution. Maybe deep down inside us is an illustration we can refer to. Some clattering word or casual meme to quote on Twitter, or a wave file of a nightingale in the Bluebell Woods. All night in dreams, I was floating like a crow in catharsis. All night, the darkness stirring the fine bones of my ear. Maybe it's the age of primitive visions, a return to ordinary time, an epic rescue of history, or just silence with the beloved. Hold my hand, I ask you, before we make the leap into space. Bring a lamp and a wristwatch, so that if we drift apart, I'll have the courage to watch time slow, knowing you'll be older, more perfect than the roses I planted in our garden light years ago, when, bound by attraction, the better part of us knew to let go. Thank you. All right, and the last one is, it was the year of considering time travel, of how to save the North Atlantic right whale. Spring is ending, and SpaceX will tuck baby bobtail squid and tardigrades inside its Dragon cargo capsule. What I didn't realize is there might be thousands of tardigrades already on the moon. Because octopuses are so intelligent, a brain in each arm, eating them feels cannibalistic. Some say the octopus is what an alien might look like. When you say that aliens might not be interested in us, I say, I understand we have a lot to learn, a lot to undo. There is dust behind the stars, some stiff-hipped moths circling the drain of my poorly draining shower. Without electromagnetic fields, gamma rays, radio waves, we are blind. Imagine alien physicists doing calculations in a dark matter lab. It was the year of reading late, of conducting thought experiments and getting lost in seawater with cephalopods. The year of silver linings, of watching the red disappear from my hair until it wisps ghost-like around my eyes. If not for dark matter, what of the aliens we so wish to contact? It was a virus year, a year of feeling alien in our skins. If not for baby squids and the myriad tardigrades drifting in the blackness above our heads, if not for you, why be dazzled? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. I have chills. This is great. I also realized I broke my own rule and wasn't on mute, so just hummed really loudly for the whole crowd, but it was so good.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you. What I also want to highlight, because I realized I didn't say it at the start, is all the works you'll be hearing tonight are from our latest issue, the fall winter issue, with this lovely cover by Martha Fendeschut, who is also a local artist in Seattle. One of my favorite parts about Crab Creek is that we're always looking to source local art for our covers. So if you like what you hear tonight, I know I obviously do, but I'm biased, so duh. Please purchase the issue online, or we'll be at AWP passing these out too. Our next reader tonight is Susan Holcomb. Susan Holcomb holds an MFA in writing for the Vermont College of Fine Arts and studied for a PhD at physics at Cornell. Her writing has or will be soon published in the Southern Indiana Review, Epiphany, the Boston Globe, Moon City Review, and elsewhere. She lives in Los Angeles. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. It's really great to be here with you all, and thanks for putting this together. I wanted to share the Crab Creek Review holds, it's spoken of with great reverence in my family, because for the first year of my daughter's life, the only thing that would keep her in the car seat was an old issue that I happen to have in the back seat. So I have all these pictures of her literally ingesting poetry and among other things. So I might have to get her own copy of this one, because I don't want her to eat mine. So it's, yeah, when we talk about the Crab Creek Review in this house, we're like, oh, get that Crab Creek Review. So I am going to read the first part of the short story that is published in the current issue. It's called Diamonds. Everyone at the company knew Jenny was getting married. It was all she talked about, flashing her little diamond in front of her mouth whenever she laughed. Tom works at Google, Jenny told Kara the first time they went to lunch together. They were in downtown Palo Alto, and already Kara had seen 3 men walk by wearing the exact same white and purple checkered button-up. Jenny stuffed her fork into her salad. He makes $300,000 a year. She started giggling, and the diamond ran over her mouth again. It was natural that Jenny would befriend Kara, because at the 50-person company, there were only 5 women. And of those 5 women, only Kara and Jenny were still under 30. It was unlikely, however, that their friendship would ever progress far beyond the office, due to the fact that they each lived on opposite sides of Palo Alto. Kara lived to the north in San Francisco, and Jenny lived in the suburbs to the south. But one night, Jenny's train got delayed, and Kara offered her a ride home. "You really don't mind?" Jenny asked. Kara shrugged. "If I try to drive north now, I'll just be sitting in traffic anyway." And that was how Kara came to see Sunnyvale for the first time. Driving with Jenny in the passenger seat, Kara was surprised by how ugly the place was. The little houses one might have found there 20 years before had all been replaced by high-rise condos, identical in white like the color had been bleached out of them by the sun. The condos looked to Kara like they had been constructed out of old milk cartons. If she were to squint, she would surely see the advisories on vitamins A and D, the guarantees of pasteurization and homogenization, the percent fat. Around the back, there would be photographs of missing children. The buildings would smell up close of sour dairy. It seemed to Kara that $300,000 a year should afford a person a real life, or at least a chance at one. How had Jenny and Tom failed to notice that they were living in recycled trash? Jenny was looking out the window, running her hand through her straight black hair. Her diamond caught the light and glittered. "Do you want to know a secret?" she asked. "Sure," Kara said. Jenny glanced toward the back seat as if she were checking for spies. "I think Dan's in love with me." Dan was the company's marketing director. He had worked with Jenny at a previous company and recruited her to join this one. Dan, Kara said. Oh, he's never said anything, of course, but I can tell, just by the way he acts around me, by certain things he says. Kara gripped the steering wheel and looked straight ahead. A trapdoor opened in her chest and set her face burning. Kara and Dan had been sleeping together for 3 months. No one at the company knew. There was no way Jenny could know. This is me, Jenny said. The building she pointed to was as ugly as any of them. It's nice, isn't it? It has a pool. Wanting you, Dan texted Kara later that evening. Her chest an open pit again, Kara switched off her phone and went to bed. So it's not true then, Kara said to Dan the next night at dinner. They were at the vegetarian Chinese restaurant 1 town over from Palo Alto. There was no explicit company policy against dating coworkers, but both of them had agreed it was best not to be seen together outside the office. She really used the word love? Kara nodded and looked down at the lumps of fake chicken on her plate. Dan laughed. I guess I should have known she had a little crush on me. It isn't funny, Dan. Come on. Dan took Kara's hand and kissed it. You know how Jenny is. And how is that? How is she? She's insecure. She's jealous of you. She's just trying to get under your skin. My skin? She's aware that you and I get along, even if she doesn't suspect there's something more between us. Do you think she suspects it? Do you think she knows? How could she? But I'm just saying, she and I have known each other a long time. Maybe she's a little territorial. Or maybe she actually thinks you're in love with her. Maybe, but why would she tell you? Kara drew her hand back. Anyway, Dan said, I don't love her. Not like that. And do you love me? Kara wanted to ask. She picked up her knife and sliced her fake chicken in half. Well, if her intention was to get under my skin, she managed it. Kara did her best to avoid Jenny the rest of that week. She snuck in late to the Wednesday managers meeting and pretended not to notice that Jenny had saved a seat for her. She scheduled a lunch meeting for Thursday with a vendor who would happily spend the hour pitching her on his company's latest software upgrade. Kara had to laugh when she saw him, the vendor too, in the white and purple button-up that seemed now so in vogue. On Friday, Kara took advantage of the company's summer policy and worked from home. But even miles north in San Francisco, Kara could not keep clear of Jenny's reach. That afternoon, Jenny's name started flashing in the company chat app. Here's the link to the new marketing assets, Jenny's message read. Dan says he's really happy with them. I'll bet, Kara thought. She replied with a thumbs up emoji. By the time the weekend was over, Jenny had become unavoidable. She sent Kara several messages on Sunday, another update on the marketing assets, a picture of a cat. Jenny was like a little pot of water on the stove, Kara thought, and the more time passed, the more she threatened to boil over and drench the whole countertop. You've been scarce lately, Jenny wrote to Kara on Monday. It's a crazy week, Kara wrote back. And I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. That was fantastic. It's so great to hear, especially for prose pieces. You just hear a whole different thing when you hear it out loud. It's just really lovely just to kind of get to experience that. Our next reader tonight is Alyssa Ripley. Alyssa Ripley is a poet and educator from the Lake of the Ozarks, Missouri. Now living in Philadelphia, she teaches in an innovative place-based learning program at Belmont Charter High School and also at Rutgers University, Camden, where she received her MFA in poetry. Her work has appeared in Chicago Quarterly, Dialogist, the Arkansas International, Crab Creek Review, and others. Welcome, Alyssa.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. And thank you to Julia and everyone at Crab Creek for putting this together. I'm really excited to be here and read my work. So yeah, like Julia said, I'm from Missouri and I write a lot about Missouri. It's a very complicated place, both just as a state in the United States and also in my heart. So I wanted to read kind of 2 short poems that both are about one aspect of that landscape, the water and also kind of the backwoods, or as we call it, the holler. So this first poem is called Darby Holler. Holler like hollow, hollow like empty, empty like a geode, empty like a dialect that drops consonants, hillbilly or redneck slow talk, puzzling vowels together where they shouldn't be. Grow turns into growed, as in all growed up like a weed, I growed up here on D Road, deep in the holler, learned to drive in a 2-door red truck. D Road is all bank, 31 degrees steep like Daytona, like a breath. Sundays crack open and show us the family inside, sparkling purple. I paced up and down the hill, searching for round rocks. I never found what I wanted, so I made my own, from coffee grounds and dollar store dino toys. Darby Hollow stretches from Tunnel Dam to Camdenton, from thick draws to no accent at all. And then the second poem that I'll read is from the issue, the finalist poem. And it's called Salton Sea, but it's not really about the Salton Sea. It's actually about Missouri. So, but it's Salton Sea is in there a little bit. Salton Sea. Because the truth is, a younger me would have lied about how much I hate it here, how disparate the lake and I are at the core of it all. I would have said the lake hates itself even more than I could ever hate it, and fights its own existence because the water remembers everything. Who hasn't made the water their mirror? And still it fills its basin. It may not be the same water that broke through the dam, but the same deep bowl still holds it all in its arms. The farther out I go, the colder the water is. The less I believe someone will be there to catch me, unless that someone is a ghost of one whose home was burned, then drowned. In the morning, when the sky turns pink and purple over the open water, and my dad and I float through the no-wake zone, I swear I can hear them in the wind, and the reflection of the shore on the surface that we haven't yet broken. The voices call to me like a sister, hit the glass lid from beneath and leave the rings of legacy bowing out before me. I can't save this place as much as I can't hate it. I've tried to make it move like me, that is, to make it disappear by its own will. But how can I make the water something it isn't and still call myself a daughter of this place? We are composed of everything that's ever happened to us. And one day, each of our bodies will fail. This is a fact. Just as the land that holds the water will too, everything will return to instinct. In California, the state's largest lake shrinks by the day. Landlocked body of toxic water that can't escape its own waste recedes to the bare bones of a saline shore that poisons those who walk it. Too often, the instinct is to fight back. Too often, we deserve what's coming. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you, Alyssa. It's so great. That final line just resonates. And my favorite part, these Zoom readings are always, it's always a fun thing to navigate. But one of my favorite parts is that we do get to bring so many people from all over the country to be able to be with us and just hear the work and hear it out loud. And so thank you, Alyssa, for joining us. It's fantastic. And thank you to Sayantani, our next reader, who is tuning in from the East Coast. So Sayantani will be our final reader of tonight. Born in Calcutta and raised in New Delhi, Sayantani Dasgupta is the author of the upcoming essay collection, Brown Women Have Everything. She received her MFA in creative writing from the University of Idaho. Her essay, Rinse Repeat, was named a notable essay of 2022 by Best American Essays. Previous books include the short story collection, Women Who Misbehave, the chapbook, The House of Nails, Memories of a New Delhi Childhood, and Fire Girl, essays on India, America, and the in-between. A finalist for the 4-Word Indies Award for Creative Nonfiction. She has been awarded a Centrum Foundation Fellowship, a Pushcart Prize Special Mention, and the Wilma Woman of the Year Award in the Arts for 2022. She serves as an assistant professor of creative writing at UNC Wilmington and is a contributing editor for Essay, a journal of creative nonfiction. Besides the US, Sayantani has also taught writing in India, Italy, Colombia, and Mexico. Welcome, Sayantani.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Gabriella. My relationship with Crab Creek Review goes back such a long ways. I think it was back in 2009 that when I was a baby writer, One of the first places to take my essay was Crab Creek Review, and that essay was titled "Why My Mother Should Take Over the World." I still firmly believe that she should. She keeps telling me she does not have any political ambitions, but I think she needs to. So this essay that I'm reading today is titled Stranger Wonder, and it begins in December 2006 and sort of goes between December 2006 and August 2006. And I'm going to read the first couple of pages. And of course, it's in this issue of Crab Creek Review. Stranger Wonder. From the observation deck of Sears Tower, I can see miles upon miles of Chicago and lidding it a gray, orange, red sky. The parallel lines of cars flashing red and yellow lights are as busy as the planes taking off from O'Hare. Matchsticks really, their sparks missing each other by centimeters. The skyscrapers are pencil stubs, some fat, some skinny, some tall, some short, lined together along the skyline. In the 10 minutes that I've been here, the sky, cars, planes, and skyscrapers have watched me go from heightened elation to crushing despondency. Let me back up here. In August 2006, I left New Delhi for a graduate degree in Idaho. At that time, I, an eager yet homesick student, could not have foreseen that a vast and extensive train trip from Spokane, Washington, my nearest train station, to Toronto, Canada, was in my future. I had assumed I would spend my winter holidays in my new hometown of Moscow, Idaho, and that I would be broke and alone. My roommate would leave town at the earliest opportunity to be with her boyfriend in Seattle, and other close friends would disappear into the warm homes, embraces, and overstuffed tables of their families near and far. I would remain in Moscow, in my TV-less apartment, afraid to engage with the still unfamiliar world of snow and ice outside, enduring days on end without any meaningful conversation, because I owned neither a phone nor a laptop, missing New Delhi in a way I wouldn't have ever thought possible. I was caught between the teeth of a giant machine, bit by serrated bit. It was consuming everything I had once taken for granted. A belly full of flavorful food, endless cups of my mother's Assam tea, telephone calls and dates with countless friends, and TV channels crowded with festive shows and films in Hindi. My grim view of my first December abroad changed the day my uncle, my father's first cousin, emailed from Toronto. He and his family were thrilled that I was here in North America. Wouldn't I please let him buy me a ticket to visit them? They would love for me to stay a couple of weeks at least. The entire duration of your holidays, please, if you can manage it. We want you here, my uncle wrote. A month with a beloved aunt and uncle, eating homemade familiar food, speaking in Bengali, taking in a new city where I would have access to Hindi movies and Indian restaurants. Why hesitate? What was there to think about? I replied within seconds. Yes, absolutely yes. Could you buy me train tickets though? I wrote. I don't want to fly. I want to see as much of North America as possible. The next morning, 3 shiny tickets pinged in my inbox. Amtrak tickets, Spokane to Chicago, Chicago to Chattahoochee, and finally Chattahoochee to Toronto. By the time I reached Chicago, I had crossed 7 states: Idaho, Washington, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and 3 time zones. There were 4 states left before reaching Toronto: Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and New York. My conversation partners had ranged from Hannah, a Portuguese ballad singer, to Sam, a Vietnam vet, and Ben, a professional Santa Claus, to Lon, a physician who had visited India many times and knew more about Bangalore than most Bangaloreans. I was awed by the Rockies, by Montana's skies, and by the dark waters of the Mississippi. From my window, I watched Americans go about their lives as the train passed farms, one-person railway stations, coal mines, churches, factories, cities, and mansions. Back in Idaho, when I had announced my Amtrak plan to friends and classmates, they had accepted it with cautious enthusiasm. A few had gone so far as to share horror stories of their own train travels, of running into addicts and drunks and having to deal with horrible toilets and overpriced food. While they didn't make me consider changing my plans, their warnings did make me nervous. So when I got off the train in Chicago, I felt triumphant, vindicated. My journey thus far had been perfect. But that was half hour ago. Now, from this 110th floor, where planes are the size of matchsticks, cars nothing but dots, and people on the streets below, too minuscule to be seen, the universe is telling me something entirely different. It is saying I don't matter. I never have. I'm puny and insignificant. No achievement, no glory, no sacrifices made just so I can study abroad will ever amount to anything. For the first time in America, I'm scared. This isn't home. I'm not supposed to be here. The previous week, when the receptionist at the Student Health Center saw my brown skin, she assumed I wasn't fluent in English. She yelled instructions slowly, word by word. My cheeks burned. In that moment, homesickness rose like bile. Jabbing a finger at her, I yelled right back. Graduate student, creative writing, Department of English, this very university. Your government requires all foreign students to pass a test of English before granting them a visa. Do you know my score? A fucking 94%. I bet I could teach you some English. I had watched with satisfaction as her face had crumpled, but truth be told, it really hadn't made my day any better. I'll stop here. Yeah, after that swearing, I think I should. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. That was fantastic. And I encourage you all to go and get this latest issue of Crab Creek Review, to finish Sayantani's essay, to finish Susan's story. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. It was an absolute joy to hear this sample of all the fabulous work that is in this issue. I'm biased. Every issue is my favorite, but there is something just really special about the way this issue came together and the pieces that are in it, and from the prose to the poetry to the interview we have with Jane Wong. There's something about it that just really sings in a way that just feels very special and unique to this piece. And so thank you to our contributors who shared your work with us. It was a joy to see them come into the submittable queue and have a chance to see them now reach this point and be published and be printed. To those of you who have not submitted to Crab Creek Review, please submit your work, and I will also sing praises about how amazing you are. Again, we have our poetry contest opening on February 15th. We will also be at AWP. And so if you happen to be at the book fair, come stop by. We'll be doing an offsite event as well. And more to come on that. We're very excited there too. But yeah, thank you everyone for coming tonight and joining and just celebrating Crab Creek Review and these wonderful writers. We exist because of our writers, because of our subscribers. And so to have this continued support always just makes everything feel very worthwhile. So thank you, and have a lovely rest of your night. Oh, and Susan, I want to see those photos too of your baby with Crab Creek Review.
I will send them.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.